Let's see if we can do that again. Nope, I'm doing it wrong again. Here we go. There we go. All right, welcome to Hot Sketch. My name is Corey Saucier. I hope you are enjoying your Tuesday afternoon. I decided to try a bonus stream today. I hope you guys, let's see how this works out. I'm going solo today. Usually I stream on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock with my best buddy V's house. But today I am trying to get more in practice of drawing and streaming and just getting to know you guys a little bit better. Getting to know the platform a little better. So I thought I'd bring out my inks and see if I can finish up this inking project with what is it? Who are these guys? I think it's I can't even think of their names right now. The characters are Cloak and Dagger. There we go, Cloak and Dagger. So I'm gonna see if I can finish up doing that today. And let me see if I can think of some sort of like format things. Maybe you guys can help me out if you got your notices that I was going on live. Maybe you can help brainstorm with me, figure out how to do some good sort of like online activity. Just sort of just get better feel of it. I think on some level, maybe some people just sort of do good at just sort of streaming and doing the art and like making that be the deal. But I think maybe as like a performance artist, little actor person, I feel like this sort of like deep-seated need to perform, which is probably completely a bad idea. And I think probably will only come to naught. But until that happens, I'm just gonna keep on doing what I think would help me out um, until I get better or until I get more comfortable. Um, I feel like some people do so well, including my best friend. He's so good at this. But I seem to always sort of be nervous while I'm doing it. So I'm just, put maybe some more comfortability with the format, and you guys will sort of help me to sort of like figure it out. I kind of think it's going to be like the new hot thing. Everybody seems to be on Twitch. Everybody seems to be moving away from other platforms or maybe more sort of similar platforms. And I like the idea. I like the idea of sort of like always content driven stuff or all sort of like creator driven content. And I should just be sketching more in general. And so I'm a little bit more inspired to do that. And I don't know if anybody's reading comics, but I've gotten really excited about sort of new. As you can see, I'm just sort of like going back and forth with all my pens. I have actually no idea what I'm doing. So I'm switching between this this Pilot 5.0 fine felt. I think it's like just sort of a felt ballpoint pen. Switching between that and just, oh, that's wrong. This is completely wrong. That and just sort of all these other pens that I have. I think I'm making a really big mistake on all these. And I have these like microns that are in different sizes. And I also have this sort of brush pen. um, that I actually really love. But I really don't know what any of them do, and I don't have enough practice. So I'm just sort of like inking things and hopefully, not taking it too seriously or preciously, and it'll just sort of like come out how it's supposed to come out. I trust the process, right? Usually I have my buddy to help sort of like help me know what things are and how to make them work, but since I am going solo at the moment, I'm just gonna sort of wing it and hope that everything sort of works out. And I believe it's possible. Miracles happen all the time, right? Every day, they say. So why not? My name is Hot Sketch. I go on, as I said, Thursdays at 9 regularly. But I'm trying to inspire to do more. So I'm doing this inking regular session today, and probably going to start doing it more often during the week just so I can get a better handle on it. Oh, that's great. I've been reading a lot more comics. What books are you guys reading? I just finished reading I think it's X-Men, Astonishing X-Men, and they're bringing back one of my favorite characters of all time, which is what is his name? He is the son of Xavier and Moira McTaggart. His name is Proteus, who is a sort of energy-based mutant with the ability to control reality, I guess. Every time Xavier has a child, he becomes like one of the most powerful mutants in existence, which I guess makes sense since he's like their flagship mutant. But they've just brought him back. I think they've done something really interesting where he is not as black and white villainous as they usually had him as a kid, or when I was a kid. And they're showing that he was sort of a victim of circumstance, which I always think is a great way to introduce your characters. And it is super warm here in LA, and so I am, as you can see, glistening with sweat, even though I have on this like little tank top. It is super hot in my apartment, and so this is also another great way to sort of distract myself from the heat. As I do this inking project. That's a good idea. One of the things that I kind of like about drawing is that not everything needs to be perfect. I think one of the aspects of art is accidents, right? Um, but I did this little line here to sort of help with the curvature of her body. But I'm not sure if it's working, so I think I'm going to do something different. Yeah, it's just sort of little accidents. So I'm trying to see if I can figure out some sort of like stylization, which my best friend is always in a position to, and he's probably right. But since I don't have the work ethic that he has, or the background skills, I'm just gonna cheat and make everything just sort of like style. This is interesting. I wonder if I can make this like smoke. I think it's supposed to be another ring of power, but I think it looks interesting if it's like, it's just something black. Black, 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 black. Nope, wrong one. Oh, excuse me. Right, it's supposed to just sort of, and now, like, I'm supposed to keep talking, and that's really difficult to do. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to just sort of talk nonstop, but it's very hard. But I also want to put down some black. So let's see if I could do that. I'm going to put down some black ink in spots and see what happens. Hopefully I shouldn't. See if it comes out a little. Right, so I have this little thing of black ink. See if I can put that down. Instead of using that wonderful brush that I have, see if I can do this, cheat, and put some large strokes. This isn't resolved here, which is a word I use from Project Runway. So I just cover that there. Maybe put some more there. Ta-da. That's perfect. Cool. This is very hard to do with the brushes. I am not great at it at all. But, you know, oops. Oh, I should probably take this away. And I'm like super thirsty. Okay. All right, I'm back. some water. What else? Oh, and if you're one of our, I'm trying to do this thing where I'm creating characters in on Twitch with like sort of like community creation. I'm trying to create some sort of like community done comic book here on Twitch. So if you, yeah, I was wondering how people sort of felt about that. Right now I've just created one character so far that I have called Backbreak. And I think maybe I might start on doing the visuals for it soon. Seeing how that works. But I'm curious about if people think that's they'd be interested in sort of contributing. I was thinking maybe start doing some sort of storyboards on the character also. On characters, and you know, just seeing if I can sort of just like create something out of nothing for the time I'm here on Twitch. You know, creating things and creating a sort of like world. I was reading this, listening to this podcast, and this one writer created a universe with his characters, and now that they have this sort of like Marvel multiverse where, you know, all the characters sort of unite and coincide during the with the, oh, maybe I should do that in black. How the characters sort of unite and coincide with all the other characters in the Marvelverse. He had the idea of collaborating with other novelists. So he's written like 1, 2, or 7 novels. I don't really know. I didn't read his novels. But he's written all these novels and sort of reached out to other novelists to see if they would like to sort of like create a team together with all their characters. And they all agreed because of how, you know, cool and how well the Marvel Universe is working right now. And so they are like moving towards this future where they all of their, like, I think it's like 4 different novelists are bringing their universes together and having their, basically their characters, I guess, do some sort of like crossover. I thought that was pretty badass. And it reminds me of like times as a kid when you sort of thought, oh, well, we could do this and we could do that, and your characters can become my characters and our universes can connect. And sort of everything was possible. And I think we sort of lose that as we get older. And it's not necessary. There's no reason to lose it. So I wanted to sort of play with that idea here on Twitch, and hoping other people will sort of join me in that play. Well, um, yeah, and so now I think I just need to sort of like figure out the mechanics of the universe, maybe. But I think I want it to be sort of like a free-for-all world where everything sort of exists. So that there's like a freedom. For people to sort of be as creative as they need to be. What is this? Hmm. When you start to lose yourself in your own inks, that's probably not the best sign of success, huh? I'm definitely losing myself in my own inks. I don't think it is tracing like most people think inking is. I think there is a far more skilled ability that has to happen than just, tracing, because um, I am basically trying to trace, and that is not working. I can attest to that part. Okay. And I have no idea what's going on. Like, literally no idea what's happening. And I drew it. But I think the cape is supposed to be like swirling into some section, but I think this should just go like here and out. Yes? Maybe up to two. So here, out, rip, here, and out. Yep, that's gonna do it. Here, and out. Here, and out. With a cape here, and a cape here. Capelet there, capelet there. Yep. And a capelet there. Let's do a capelet there. Let's do some cross hatching, because cross hatching makes things look good. Right? Then this can come down. Right? Right. I'm just kind of reminding myself that I can't be perfect. And it's okay for things to have mistakes in it, because I will get better. And that matters. Because you always have to start from somewhere. Right? Right. Hmm. It should be like a curve. swirl, 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 line, line, cross hatches, cross hatches, things coming out, and swirls and cross hatches and textures and things happening. That's what you do, that's what you do. Yes. Almost as good as Ghibli. Imagine if I was that delusional. I'll get there someday. I think this is done. As done as it's gonna get. Right? Do I just go over it again to make the inks darker? I don't really know what to do about that. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Hmm. Can I erase that? This is gonna look terrible. I'm gonna try to erase it. Da 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 dum. Let's erase. What happens? What happens? Oh, that's terrible. We're gonna put the black back in then. We're gonna put the black in because that doesn't look great. So let's do it. Put the black back. Because this dagger has black on her costume, and it's just how it goes. Even though character-wise, it makes absolutely no sense for her to have black in her costume, except that it creates a very interesting sort of strobing technique, like when you're placing it sort of side by side. And so I'm going to say that that matters. Those are my neighbors outside.
I'm so sorry. So they didn't know they parked your space. I'm so sorry.
My neighbors talking outside. I don't really know why. You know, it happens. And it's way too hot for me to close the door. Because
They didn't know they cannot park there. They thought it's their space. It's not that. Can you try again, please? Okay. Okay.
Sorry, we didn't know we
Yeah,
from
close.
first thing, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let me know. Please be outside. Thank you.
People are fascinating. Always remember that people are fascinating. Have I read anything good lately? I don't know. I think that, like I said, the X-Men, Astonishing X-Men is pretty good. The, the, uh, the Rogue and Gambit, miniseries is actually very good. Very, very good. You know, I don't need to spoil it, so I probably can't say too much, but it's actually very good. And then we're just gonna skip to another conversation. I really hate duplicate characters. Like when people like, it's one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of DC. No offense to people who love DC, or creators at DC, or artists at DC, or Batman. Oh, his darn self. Hey Ruby, how are you doing?
Very good, Corey. Didn't mean to.
Right? So I just had my roommate come in and scare the bejesus out of me. Um, but I hate when there's a duplicate character. It really bothers me. So it's one of the reasons why I don't like DC, because they have so many replications of the same character, and I just don't get it. It bores me. It seems like lazy storytelling and lazy creation because they know they have something that already works. Yeah, thank you. And so they just use the thing that they know already works. But I'm like, gosh, can't you create something more different or interesting? It bothers me on so many levels. Uh, but I think this is almost done, you guys. And since my roomie is home, I'm going to check out, say good night to you guys, and get my laundry out of the dryer. But this was a nice little quick session. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for bearing with me as I practice this whole gig and figure out how to do it. And I'll see you guys on Thursday night with V's house at 9, between 9 and 10. Hope you enjoy. We'll be doing something new. Love and light.